are here because the outside world rejects you.
I'm the best there is at what I do, but what I do isn't very nice.
Come on, let's get nuts. This guy's got the right idea. He wore the brown pants.
Cowabunga.
Cowabunga!
I made a buddy. Come on, Peter Tingle. Here we go.
What's up? What's up? What up?
Cameo. I'm
What's
Brad
up?
Reed. This is Nerds to Men. Cameo, did you see that there's a Martin reunion?
Yeah, I saw a lot of people talking about it, and I think it's out. I want to watch it.
It is out. I can't remember what it was on. I saw it on Amazon. I know it's like on one of the TV like streaming.
Is it HBO?
No,
Max?
no, I can't remember what it was.
Okay.
But here's the only thing with the reunions. Like I saw the Friends reunion too, right? And then there was the what was the other reunion that just happened not too long ago? The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh,
And so with those, like, I don't know, like, if they do a reunion show, like, I kind of want to see them do like an in character type show.
yeah.
So when it's just them just hanging out and like just whatever, I'm like,
Right.
it's okay, but I don't know. Like I would more like to see what the characters are up to today, more so than the actors and actresses.
No, I agree.
Now, like on the Friends, they did some funny stuff where they were like reading stuff and like talking about what they thought their characters would be doing, today, but. And then of course with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, there's a whole TV show now that's taken over that whole thing. So
Right.
But I didn't know if you had seen the Martin one, which the answer is no.
No, I have not. I've seen little snippets of it on like on social media, but I haven't gotten to watch it yet.
Here's what I want to know. If Gina, she still looks good, because I bet she does.
She looks kind of weird. Because of the way she does her hair. I don't like it, but
Okay.
I'm not dating her, so it's cool.
Yeah, you're not. And so you keep your hands off.
That's right. I'm
Yeah.
a happily married man.
Yeah, me too. But if Gina comes around, she's on the list.
That's funny.
Did you watched Everybody Hates Chris, right? Not the Grammys, like the show.
I watched. I wasn't like a religious watcher of it. I've seen some episodes.
Like I did. I loved watching it. It was such a good show. But the lady who plays Gina, I can't remember her name.
Not Gina, Tisha. No, Pam.
No, well, both of them. So like the one who plays Pam, she's like the main lady in this one. But then, Tisha Campbell, she shows up as a character in this one though. But she's wild.
Oh, okay.
She's real wild, and it's hilarious. It's kind of the reverse of like what their characters were on Martin. So, that's what I thought was pretty funny. Yeah, you should watch that show if you didn't watch it.
Yeah, what's it on now?
I don't know, man.
Probably Hulu.
Like Everybody Hates Chris is on every like. At one time in reruns, it was on every day. Like you could see it just wherever you happen to be watching TV. But
Right.
it's a good show. I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you definitely got to watch that one. Oh man, so many people are in it. The dad. Oh, what is
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews? Yeah, he's great. It is a great show. You'd love it. I think you'd love it.
Okay. Well, I'll check it out.
Yeah, you should watch more. Today we're only going to talk about one show. One show.
What? Just one?
Yeah, we're going to talk about Obi Wan, which wrapped up.
I guess.
Now, I will just mention this real quick. We had some troubles with the last show, Cameo.
Oh, yeah?
YouTube, I don't think, was very happy that we were talking about Obi Wan Kenobi and Miss Marvel, and then talking about The Boys. So we're not going to talk about the boys and all the shenanigans that happened this week on this show, but maybe later in the week we'll do another show to talk about that one.
Yeah. Okay.
So for all of you that were looking forward to that, you shall get it, just not here. This one will be the more family-friendly show. That way we don't get blocked on how many people can actually see the show.
Right.
All right. So let's do it. Let's get into Star Wars Obi Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus. Cameo. So we talked about the first 4 episodes on the last show. And today we're going to talk about the second to last and then the last one. And I'm just going to say, overall, I love this show so much. I want to give you my crying Kevin Smith rating, but we'll do that a little bit later, okay?
Okay.
But I did love it a lot. And I kind of went into it with high expectations because Ewan McGregor, I mention this every time I talk about him. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. I think I don't know that I've seen too many movies that he's been in that I wasn't a big fan of. So, and then
is that a black mask shirt that you got on?
It's not, but I would wear one if I had one, because again, Ian McGregor. So in the first few movies, they call them episodes 1, 2, and 3, but of course they were the 3 that came out after we saw the first 3 growing up.
Right.
I didn't love those movies so much. And then I kind of agreed with everybody, but by the time you got to the end of the trilogy, it was pretty good seeing Anakin truly turn into Darth Vader. But I just didn't, there was a lot of gaga around it too that just wasn't all that great. But I always loved Ewan McGregor as Obi Wan Kenobi. So, and then again, like I said, my whole thing with Star Wars is I grew up with the original 3. And,
Same.
And, my kids, they didn't. And like, I was a huge Star Wars nerd. And then as I got older and I watched the newer ones, I was like, I just don't love it as much. I love the originals, but I don't love this as much. So I probably didn't do a great job of exposing my children to Star Wars like I had been at an early age, but their first experiences with it were the newer movies.
Right.
And so they're like, we don't really like it that much. And I was like, oh man, well, watch these. They're way better.
Yeah.
And then, so that, like, we've kind of talked about that in years past about how we feel about the series of movies in the past. So, but that does bring us to today, because now we have a show that I thought really did a great job of bridging the gap between the first, first 3 movies and then the 4, 5, and 6 that came first and then later. It's so annoying how they did that. Like, how old were you when you realized that they were all out of, like, the first 3 that you saw were like, because I know it says it on the thing, episode 4, but like when you really realized it, do you remember that?
Yeah, I don't think I ever really took note until, they were like, oh, there's going to be a sequel, episode 1.
Yeah.
And I was like,
how does that work?
I never really thought of it being, being that way.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I was like a teenager or something, just not even thinking of it. Just like, oh, okay.
Same way. Like, I think one of my friends was like, technically the first one is the 4th one. And
right.
Sweet. I still, didn't change anything. Like, I was real bad too about like remembering planets and, like, there's people out there, including my son, who can tell you all of the ins and outs of it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
really? Wow.
Yeah. Who runs what, and it's crazy. But
Gotcha.
I've been more of not a diehard fan. Like I said, I grew up loving it. And even my wife and I were talking about this the other day. My wife, Because I don't have a whole lot of Star Wars action figures, and I do have a lot of action figures, and I was kind of like talking about why that is, and it's probably because like when I was young, I did have like a ton of Star Wars stuff, and then over the years, whatever, lost it, gave it to my brothers, you know, blah blah blah, and because I wasn't like a hoarder, right? And now
you are.
Now I wish I had kept all of those, and I don't really want to start from the bottom again.
Right.
So that's kind of like why I don't have as many Star Wars, but I probably will.
No, that's how I am too. I don't think I ever had any because I wasn't really a big Star Wars, fan growing up. Did I enjoy the movies? Yeah. I mean, shoot. I thought Chewbacca was probably the coolest character of all time. And then, the Ewoks, I was like, yeah, this is my show. I like it. But, I was more into like, the toys that I wanted was Ninja Turtles, Spider-Man, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm collecting a few Star Wars, here and there now because I mean, I love it. And I guess you could blame The Mandalorian for doing that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I think he was the first action figure I got that was a Star Wars figure.
That's interesting.
Very first one. Yeah.
See, and that's the cool thing, because for a while, they had got away from the live action stuff, and we didn't think that the live action stuff would really be as good as the movies, because back in the 80s when they tried to do stuff, it was, cheaply made.
Yeah.
Then they started doing digital cartoons and stuff, digital animation like Clone Wars. And so that changed. But now they have captured, and they're able to, like, the whole Obi Wan Kenobi series probably cost as much as a movie or two.
Yeah. I mean, technically, if you really think about it, it's what I think the last episode was like 40 some odd, somewhere between 40 and 50 minutes.
It was like 50 minutes. Some of the other ones were like, one was in like even the late 30s, like 38 minutes. Most of them were around 40, and then the last one was kind of like 55 minutes, I think.
So basically, yeah, it's been like two full-length movies, basically.
Yeah. Or
maybe even 2.5, 3. So yeah, I mean, they can do it because
they're spending the money, and of course, there's ways of doing things now that are a lot different than back in the 80s too. So, but again, I thought that they did a great job. Now, we were talking about the second to last episode, and before we were kind of talking about why we weren't sure, but why third sister, Reva, is that her name?
Reva. Yeah.
Why she wasn't
Reva McEntire?
Yes. Why she wasn't a Sith? And it's because there's only 2 Sith Lords at any time. Yoda made sure to tell us this. So she can be Force sensitive and all that, but she wasn't considered a Sith Lord. So, but go ahead.
Do you know why there can only be 2?
I'm not sure. Do you?
Because I mean, I don't know. Because I mean, there's like several Jedi Masters or Jedi Knights.
I don't know. I know that somebody who's probably read all the comics.
Like, is there like a Jedi
books.
Lord? Like,
no.
I'm sorry, you cut out what?
Oh, I was just saying, I'm sure there's somebody who's read all the comics and the books and all that and knows like why there's only 2 Sith Lords at any time. Maybe they just don't like to share power. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
gotcha.
Because who was the Sith Lord at that time? It would have been Palpatine and then Darth Vader.
Was it Darth Maul?
No, not at that time. Yeah, are you there?
Okay.
Now you're back. So no, Darth Maul wouldn't have been a Sith Lord at that time because they had thought he was dead. I'm sure, or he might have been dead by that time.
Was it Count Dooku?
No, at this time in Obi-Wan, it would be Darth Vader and then Palpatine, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
The Emperor.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, other than those two, everybody else is just force sensitive, inquisitors, whatnot.
Okay.
So it turns out that she's also not what we thought either, because again, and if you go back and watch like the first episode, they give a lot of stuff away. You pick up later, you're like, oh, okay, that's why they show that, you know. But you said your wife had called it from the beginning that she wasn't just an inquisitor. She was actually one of the younglings that they showed at the beginning. Who had survived, and then she ended up, again, because she was force sensitive, she ended up going to the dark side and all of that. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like she actually went to the dark side.
No, but she dabbled. I think, she was a dabbler.
Yeah.
Because she cut that one chick's hand off. Like that's not the light side, you know. She's not on the right side of the force on that, but
I mean, I think it, because you know how Ahsoka Tano, not is it Ahsoka? Well, I think what's her name did too. Oh my goodness, the new Jedi girl, in the last Star Wars movies.
Oh, Rey,
yeah. Because she's not really on the light side nor the dark side. So I'm wondering.
She's not out there trying to kidnap children either.
Also true. But it was just more of a means to an end for her. She had to play the part.
It was.
To get what she was trying to get to. Which
was, and I guess if you didn't know this by now, spoilers galore.
Right.
But, yeah, so what was happening?
Episode 5, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's weird saying episode 5 because there's a movie called episode 5.
Exactly.
But the Obi Wan series, episode 5.
Yeah.
There we go.
we find out because Obi Wan kind of like figures it out that she was a youngling. She's really just wanting to get close to Darth Vader to take him out.
Right.
So they concoct a little plan betwixt them that I thought was the worst plan ever. Because like Obi-Wan is trying, like he was not going to get away, but then he convinced her to try to take out Darth Vader, and he got on his little ship, and Darth Vader's like trying to hold the ship with the Force, and that would have been the time to jump him, you know, while he's not.
Yeah.
But instead that she waits until like he's gone, the action's over, and then is like draws her lightsaber, which of course is gonna, you know, you're putting out some nasty vibes there that Darth Vader's gonna pick up on. So that was like the worst. I mean, and of course it wasn't gonna work. We all knew it couldn't work, or else there's a whole lot of stuff that would have to be retconned.
Episodes 4 through 9.
Everything else is over. Rogue.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rogue One happened after this, right? No.
Before.
Yes, before this. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, after. Yes, it happened after this.
No.
Because that's when they're still in
Obi-Wan?
plans for the Death Star and all that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So,
yeah.
you're right. After this, yeah.
But see, the only reason I bring up Rogue One too is like, I feel like that started this want to see a more badass Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what we got here with Obi-Wan.
Very much so.
Yeah. And go ahead.
I was just going to say, now, I don't know if they didn't have like fight choreographers that were I don't know if they had like the right fight choreographers that they had from, you know, episodes 1 through 3, and then, you know, 7 through 9, and then, you know, through all of these, you know, Star Wars live action shows. But the fight choreography came a long way from the original 3 Star Wars films. And I think by far, you know, we saw that awesome fight between Darth Maul, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan. That was probably like the coolest fight scene ever. And
Darth Maul, was Ray Parker, right? Like
Right.
that's what he does, right? Isn't he like
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, again, like back in the day, the fight scenes were okay, but like Darth Vader kind of felt clunky back in the day. Like, he was an older man by that time, and all he had to do was just snap your little neck. Like, I'm crushing your face.
Right.
So maybe that's what it was. Maybe by that time he had, maybe he starts his day with a few more donuts than he had at this time. But this is a leaner, meaner Darth Vader in the Obi Wan series. And I love that
he's still full of hate.
Yeah, I love that they used Hayden Christensen and went back to that. Because like I say, that it really does tie the room together. So, let's just go ahead and jump to the finale. Of course, people probably have seen it. And so
seen what?
The finale.
Of what?
Of Obi Wan Kenobi.
What's that?
I don't know what you're talking about. The season finale, episode 6.
I'm just saying because everybody should be watching that show. Everybody.
Oh my gosh! If you haven't,
you're missing out.
You shouldn't even be here. This is a discussion for those who have seen it and loved it. So, what I feel like that whole episode, like there was a lot of stuff that happens. It kind of ends where I feel like. I don't know, like where there could be another season of this, or it could just years later cut to what we saw with the movie A New Hope, episode 4. The OGs, all that.
Yeah.
Didn't you think so?
Yeah. I thought the same thing. Do I want some more, Obi Wan Kenobi storyline? Yeah, because I do want to see what happens after, he meets Luke, and almost kind of basically being not so much of a mentor because he really didn't learn anything from Obi Wan,
but just overseeing him.
Right, and and then now with Reva being, I don't know if she's. Because, at the end of the episode, he told Reva that she's free.
Yeah.
So what is, I want to see what, like, if they team up together and, do some.
I definitely think we're going to see her, though, going on. Even if we don't see Obi-Wan, we might see her in some of the other shows.
Yeah, I'm hoping she pops up in Ahsoka Tano's show for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Whether she's, training somebody or living her own life and they need her her insight on taking down the Empire or something, but yeah. And I'm kind of upset too, the other Inquisitors, that we didn't really get to see their them in action really.
Yeah, here's one thing, like that would be pretty dope though. Maybe we see the Inquisitors in another show chasing her.
Oh, that would be dope.
That would be dope.
Reva is the one chasing down the Inquisitors.
Yeah.
Like she's a bounty hunter on Inquisitors now.
Right. Yeah, she's turning the
she's like, no. Yeah. I'm gonna hunt them.
Yeah, I like that. Now. I like that. Well, later on, there is, like in August, there's an Andor. I don't know who Andor is. I think he's played by no, I'll have to look that up again, but I actually have it pulled up. Hold on. All right. So it's Cassian Andor. He's played by Diego Luna.
Okay.
Now, was Diego Luna, was he not in a Star Wars show or movie before, or
let's see.
Was he not in Rogue One?
I'm trying to think.
Yes, he was in Rogue One.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but I thought all of them died in Rogue One.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this ties into Rogue One, like at a different, maybe a different prequel to that then. But it looks pretty good. Actually, the head writer wrote on Rogue One. So yeah, it's got to be tied into it. It says it. Here's the premise. According to Decider.com, the spy thriller set 5 years before the events of Rogue One will get into all the nitty-gritty covert action of the early days of the rebellion. So that sounds pretty dope, doesn't it?
That does. I like that.
Especially because we loved Rogue One as much.
Yeah.
And again, so Darth Vader, going back to all that, like we got a little glimpse of Darth Vader being a lot more scary in that one, and then in this TV show. And then, you know, a lot of people had assumed and hoped for this to be a live action version of Darth Maul and Obi-Wan. And instead we got Darth Vader, and I'm not mad about it at all. I'm not mad about it one bit, because I thought that it really made both characters like pop a little more.
Yeah.
Gave them some depth.
Granted, with everything that's been going on, you know, with the animated shows and stuff like that, Darth Maul coming back for this wouldn't have been an ideal storyline to tell, because I mean it's just based on revenge. I mean, nobody.
Yeah,
that's. I mean, technically it's still kind of revenge for Darth Vader, but it's deeper than that.
Well, and that's the thing is it is a Darth Vader revenge story. Mm-hmm. We find Obi-Wan, of course, he's not the same Obi-Wan as before. He's not as in tune with the Force. He's had to hide and keep it a secret. So we're getting like, this is kind of like, of course, we saw an old man Obi Wan Kenobi back in the day. That was the beginning of the movie, but the franchise. Right. But we're getting like a middle-aged Obi-Wan here, who's a little more grizzled. You know, he's got a lot more experience, and we get to see him realizing what he did actually create and coming face to face with Darth Vader. And then we get to see that awesome fight scene in the last episode where they're confronting each other, they're fighting each other, but then it becomes even more personal as he starts to kind of, Obi-Wan starts to turn the tide and starts to become more emboldened by the Force. Mm-hmm. And he breaks Darth Vader's helmet, and you can start, the voiceover goes from James Earl Jones back to Hayden Christensen, and more of the Anakin peeks through for just a second. And then, of course, he tells him, "I killed Anakin." You know, and
that was a really good director's choice on how they did that, because you know it seems like it was like fighting between the two, and then like you said at the very end when you said I killed Anakin, or however you said it. It's just like James Earl Jones was fully through again. So that was pretty.
It was great. Like Deborah Chow was the director all season, and she directed Mandalorian episodes, Better Call Saul episodes. She's directed a lot of TV. I give it up to her. Too. I give it up to her for what she did on that episode. Just the lighting, all of it, like looked so good. And again, I give it up to Ewan because like his kind of like range of emotions there, from feeling regret for what he had done to cause Anakin to become Darth Vader, what he played in it. This isn't what he wanted, you know? And then realizing that, okay, well, guess what? I'm going to die here if I keep treating him like Anakin. If I don't treat him like Darth Vader, I'm going to die. Right. And so he does that. And then at the end, when he walks away and he's like, what does he say? He's like, "See you later, Darth," or whatever. Like, I was like, ooh. But like that whole scene, that whole sequence, man, the young Brad Reed, the 80s Brad Reed, the kid in me that loved Darth Vader, like, cause he was scary and all that back in the day. And just the original Star Wars, that kid was in awe of that. Like, that was so great. I had little Brad Reed tears coming down my face. And so is now a good time to tell you how many Kevin Smith Kevin Smith?
No, wait.
Okay, go ahead. You go ahead.
Cause I wanted to say too, with like, and I didn't really think about it until you brought it up a little bit earlier in the show, how in the original movies 4, 5, and 6, how he was in his prime, or well, not in his prime, but he was older. So let's say probably about like 60s, maybe I don't know. But it was so cool just seeing him 10 years from episode 3, because Leia's 10, right? She said she was 10, correct?
Yeah, she's 10 in the show, and we were like, man, she doesn't seem like she'd be 10, but the actress is 10, or at least was. She might have been 9 when they filmed it, but she's 10 now. Right. So. But
and it was just so cool to see him actually throw down.
Yeah.
And basically almost, because anybody that was fighting Darth Vader was not on his level.
Right. This was like the first time he had a match in him,
Right.
He had met his match.
So seeing that was by far the most amazing thing, from the beginning of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, I've always wanted to see, Darth Vader head to head with somebody that he was equally matched to.
Right.
And not just, oh, everybody's afraid of me because I'm Darth Vader.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and what was great too was now we're getting to the end of the episode officially. We kind of jumped to some of the end before. But like, so he's talking to the Emperor, and the Emperor's like, basically like, your obsession with Obi-Wan is distracting you from what we really want to do. And that, that was like, I feel like another true showing of the true killing of Anakin, and the just the absolute change into Darth Vader, because he was like, you know what? You're right. Obi-Wan doesn't matter to me anymore. Because he doesn't matter to Darth Vader. And so that's what I came away with on this whole series. Now, we had talked about some other things that we could see going forward, like with another series with Obi-Wan. We could maybe see some more episodes or adventures maybe with Princess Leia, because I had heard a rumor that Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things is rumored to be signing on for a future Star Wars project. I don't know, I don't know what it's going to be, but could you see her as Princess Leia a few years later?
I could see that.
Me
too.
Can see that. Me too. So we could see, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to keep doing it, but I think that they definitely should keep making Obi-Wan series, season
at
2.
At least 2 more. Least 2 more.
Yeah. They're so great. They're really great.
Yeah.
Well,
because they should treat it like they did the first episodes. Well, I say the first 3 episodes, the prequel to the first episode. So episodes 3, because how they did Anakin, he was the age of Leia, and then episode 2, he was obviously adolescent, teenager, whatever, or he might have been an adolescent then, but he looked like a child. But so they should probably do something like that if Millie Bobby Brown is coming in and she is going to be playing Leia.
That'd be interesting for sure. So then basically, that leaves Andor. The Bad Batch season 2 is coming soon. So, and then I know that Taika Waititi is supposed to be doing another Star Wars project.
Yeah, I think like at the end of next year?
Is that when
it
comes out, or when he starts on it?
I think that's when it's supposed to come out, at the end of 2023.
So lots of cool stuff. Of course, we should be getting another Mandalorian.
I think that comes out either at the end of this year or the beginning of next.
Yeah.
From what
So a couple things real quick. Cameo, did you cut out? Oh no, you're just looking down.
I'm here.
So the other thing is Luke. He's going to be keeping an eye out on Luke. And the cool thing was like at the end when he brings him that ship, the little fighter ship or whatever it was, that his Uncle Owen didn't want him to have at the earlier in the season. That ship, if you watch Star Wars Episode 4, then A New Hope, he's holding that ship as a older Luke Skywalker, like in the very first scene. He's got it in his hands and he's kind of, thinking about like what life would be like away from the farm and stuff. So I thought that was cool because there's got to be a whole lot of that kind of thing that if you looked and noticed some Easter eggs like that for sure.
Yeah, there was some other things too that people were bringing out, and it's the consistency of Obi-Wan throughout all of, whatever he's been in. So like, I guess there's a point where he says hello there in episode 4. He says it in, this series. He says it in the Clone Wars series. His fighting stance where he points the 2 fingers and, that whole deal. So, I like how people picked up on that. And because I didn't notice that at all. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of cool to see how, when the director or even, the writer, whatever, shows how much they care about a project that they want to keep it consistent throughout.
Yeah. The writers on this were amazing. I thought they did a great job. Yeah. I have heard criticisms. I think I saw one person, a podcast say that it was bland. I didn't read their actual review. They said like the headline was, it answered questions that nobody had asked. And I don't really, again, I need to listen to the full review to know what they were saying there, but me personally, I just don't, there was a couple of things that I thought were like where they tried to sneak her out in underneath the jacket. That was silly. But yeah, for the most part, like I guess 98% of the rest of the show, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Amazing. And one of my, I really, honestly, I loved Mandalorian, but now that we got Obi-Wan, I have to say that it goes higher than Mandalorian. What do you think?
I don't know. I would say yes, but not by much. It would be like I don't know. Because I really like the Western style of Mandalorian. But you can't go wrong going back to the OG stuff either. Yeah. So like I like the new stuff. But I don't know. I think to me, I feel like they're on the same plane for me.
Now, I will say that seeing Luke as the child and then Luke as the young man that I remember growing up, I do think he has like severe bedwetter energy. Like back in the day, Luke was kind of like the whinier character, and like Han Solo was, he was the guy every kid wanted to be like, like you wanted to be Luke Skywalker too, because he had the cool, he used the Force, he had the sweet lightsaber, but like, you wanted to romance the ladies and talk tough like Han Solo, right?
Right.
So like, I think it's funny because the kid in this one still like, you see, like the girl Leia, she seems like she's feisty and could take care of herself, and this Luke, like, oh no, let's not let anything happen to him.
Yeah, they did coddle him quite a bit, and that's probably why he is the way he is.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny because, like, how many times is Leia gonna get kidnapped? Like, probably a few more times before it's all said and done.
Yeah, we know at least 2 or 3 times in the original movies. So,
like, I'm not bagging on Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. He's loved.
Yeah.
But today, with the shows, the movies, and with the original 3 being a little bit further in the memory of a lot of people today, the younger folks. Who do you think's more popular? Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi or Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker?
I would have to say, I don't know. That's a hard one. I would definitely have to say, what's his face? Ewan.
Ewan, yeah.
I would have to say Ewan McGregor for sure. And the only reason why is because, like you just stated, the originals are out of mind almost, basically. And we've had several, even though Ewan McGregor did not, or did he voice Obi-Wan on the animated series? Did he?
I think he did. I think maybe he did on the movie.
Okay.
And then I think maybe possibly, I could be wrong, that they got somebody else whenever he popped up.
Well, regardless, his character, I think, has had, brought up memories of Obi-Wan in the very first movie. And yeah, I mean, Ewan McGregor has done an amazing, phenomenal, outstanding job with this character.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because
I mean, he's gone through so much with his character. So
well, and people, they really do. They don't like they didn't love the casting of a young Han Solo, or you know what I mean. But with Ewan, there's nothing to not like about it. He just is. He's a great actor. Actually, third generation of Star Wars. He's the second. His daughter was in I think episode 1 or 2. He had come across her in a scene where he's asking her about information, and so his daughter's in Star Wars. He's been in Star Wars, and his uncle was in one of the original movies, like one of the the fighter pilots. So that's pretty cool too.
That is cool. That is cool.
So, yeah.
I'm a zero generation in the movies.
I want to be in a Star Wars movie so bad.
Right.
Or a TV show. Cool. That'd be so awesome. I'll be an Ewok. I don't care.
Right?
Yeah. I'm the tallest Ewok in the world. Okay. All right, Cameo. So now is it time to give the Crying Kevin Smith?
Yes. Yes, it is.
100 we usually go out of 3. I'll give it 100 because, to be honest, Cameo, I don't cry at stuff like that. I just don't really do that. But in the scene with Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, I got little tears.
Mm-hmm.
And it was glorious. I loved it. So I'm gonna give him 100. No, there won't be 100 on the screen, but that's what I'll give.
Will there?
No, there won't. I don't have time for all that. How many?
I give it 3.
3 out of 3
for sure.
What about you? Any little nerd tears sprout out of your eyes?
No.
Or were you just cooking onions?
No, not this time. No, but yeah, I give it a full 3 because I really enjoyed the series. It's like I said, I'm glad Ewan McGregor came back to do the show. Not saying that he wouldn't have, because I mean, this is amazing. So yeah,
I have a pitch for a show to come later. Okay,
gotcha.
I want to say it'd be Princess Leia. She'd be about 25.
Okay,
25. But I don't know how old she was when she was on Tatooine and she was in the care of Jabba. How old was she about that time? 22, 23?
That was what, in the second episode 5?
Was it?
I would say she was about in her 20s, mid-20s.
So we're going to put her there because my pitch is we'll go revisit what happened. We'll call it Hot Girl Summer. And it'll be Princess Leia in her metal bikini and whatever she was doing at Jabba the Hutt's palace for the.
We'll do Hot Tatooine Summer.
Hot Tatooine Summer. I like it.
There you go.
I like it.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's my
Disney
my
Plus.
Idea. Yeah.
Lucasfilms.
Disney Plus.
All right.
We got to put that in there, 18 and older.
All right.
Hot Tatooine summer. I like it. All right, Cameo. Well, I have some videotapes I got to go return, so I'm getting out of here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going to Blockbuster?
Yeah. I wish,
Did you
man.
Did you rewind?
I be kind and I rewind. Yeah. So you know what's up. Yeah, I did actually see a like a Blockbuster video hoodie the other day. I almost had to put it on the credit card. Like, I would quit my job right now and make minimum wage if they'd bring back Blockbuster and I could work there.
I'll be right there with you.
Blockbuster was, that was the Friday night Cameo.
It was a staple for all families.
And the Saturday.
For all families.
Maybe even Sunday if it went good.
Yeah, yep.
All right, that's it for me, Cameo.
All right, keep it nerdy, y'all.
Smile and put on a happy face.
Wakanda forever!
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
That was awesome!
Freeze all motor functions.